We've got our brachioradialis. I'm gonna go medial and find our flexor carpi radialis. I'm gonna remove that for a second and find my abductor pollicus longus. Next, I'm gonna go to my flexor digitorums. You have two flexor digitorums. Flexor digitorum is on the inside. It has a thick base, and it is superficial because when you flex your muscles, you are superficial. So you have your flexor digitorum superficialis. If you have a superficialis, you have a profundus. So you have a flexor digitorum profundus. Right above that, we have one that connects to our palm, and that is our palmaris longus. Go back here and find that flexor pollicus again, flexor pollicus longus. You have two pronator muscles with your pollicus. Pronator teres is proximal and closer to your pronator or your teres muscles in your shoulder. Then pronator quadratus is a quad. It has four sides in the wrist. Make sure I'm not missing anything this side. If you go back to the lateral side, we're actually going to find this extensor carpi radialis longus again. And right next to him is our extensor digitorum. Okay, one more time, we're just going to go from lateral to medial. Extensor digitorum. Extensor carpi radialis longus. Underneath him, we have extensor carpi radialis brevis, brachialis or brachioradialis, facial muscles. This main one right here is your trapezius. Go ahead and flip the page for me. We're going to reflect him back and see a couple muscles underneath him. We're going to start right here on the scapula and go with whatever inserts on him. We have our levator scapulae. And then we have our rhomboids. Rhomboid major is bigger than rhomboid minor, and they are shaped like a rhomboid. We're going to continue down on his back really quick and go with his latissimus dorsi. We're going to go underneath the latissimus dorsi, and right here you can see the erector spinae group. You can also reflect it down here and see the erector spinae group. While this is reflected, we're going to see our serratus posterior and our serratus anterior. Posterior and anterior erector spinae group. If you're down here, you have your transverse abdominis and your external obliques. Going up on the scapula again, we have our infraspinatus. Supraspinatus is above. And subscapularis is underneath the scapula. Underneath the infraspinatus, we have our teres major and teres minor, minor and major, and then our deltoid again. We're going to come here and go down the arm now, and we have our triceps brachii. We're going to reflect him and find our coracobrachialis. And then we're going to see also our biceps brachii and our brachialis. And then on this side, you can see your brachioradialis. Coming down into the forearm, pollicus longus and our extensor pollicus brevis. We're going to come to this outside now, and we're going to start from the top and go deep. We have our flexor carpi ulnaris. Underneath him, we have our flexor digitorum superficialis, flexor digitorum profundus. You can turn your hand then and find your palmaris, but you have to go to the other side to find those. Maximus. Right here above this is your gluteus medius. You can reflect it and see the whole muscle, but pay attention to the fact that you can see that up there. Underneath the gluteus medius is where you find the gluteus minimus. We're going to put those back and go about this muscle. That is our tensor fasciae lactae. And then we're going to come down here. This big juicy one on the lateral side is our vastus lateralis. We're going to work our way in. This is our biceps femoris. This is two separate muscles, be aware of that. Biceps femoris is just the lateral side. Medial is our semitendinosus. Has a long tendon attached to it. Underneath that, we're going to find our semimembranosus. Underneath the semimembranosus, biceps femoris is just the lateral side. Medial is our semitendinosus. Has a long tendon attached to it. Underneath that, we're going to find our semimembranosus. Underneath the semimembranosus is where you're going to find your adductor magnus. It's the only one you can see from the posterior side unless you go deeper.
Did you mean to say biceps femoris? What did I say? You said biceps femoris?
Yeah.
That's right. Oh, sorry.
This is on the other side.
Okay.
Yeah, biceps femoris, semitendinosus, semimembranosus, abductor magnus. And this inside here is our gracilis. Right there. Okay, this thick juicy one right here is our gastrocnemius. Follow him down and you have your calcaneal tendon. If you come all the way up, in between his little bum up here, you have your plantaris. Your plantaris reflected is this long skinny string. Think about a plant that has a long root attached. Underneath that, we have our soleus. Your sole is deep to your gastrocnemius. We are going to then reflect them, and up here you can see your popliteus. Popliteus is behind the knee. And then we have three muscles down here on the back side of the tibialis. So we have a tibialis posterior, which is in the middle. Him down and you have your calcaneal tendon. If you come all the way up, in between his little bum up here, you have your plantaris. Your plantaris reflected is this long skinny string. Think about a plant that has a long root attached. Underneath that, we have our soleus. Your sole is deep to your gastrocnemius. We are going to then reflect them, and up here you can see your popliteus. Popliteus is behind the knee. And then we have three muscles down here on the back side of the tibialis. So we have a tibialis posterior, which is in the middle. I said that funny, sorry. And then on this medial side, we have a flexor digitorum longus. And on the lateral side, we have our flexor hallucis longus. And that is all.